Hello, this is Jenny at Designs with Paper. My video for you today is a little bit of stencil die cut madness. I don't know what else you want to call it. I have this Choose Hope stencil set with the matching die cut. I do not have the stamp. I'm just using the stencils and the dies. And I have this Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station. It's a little piece of metal with some magnets to kind of hold the paper that I will be stamping on in place. Obviously, you have to put it on straight if you want it to work correctly. This stencil set is a 5 stencil set, and each one has been numbered in the corner, and I took a black Sharpie marker over the title so that I could see it just a little bit better. Also on these stencils, in the corners, there are little L marks or tick brackets for your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper so that you can line the stencils up really well. I will be taking my Stampin' Up inks and a blending brush and blending the leaves. Stencil number 1 is the first layer, the first leaf layer. So this is the lightest layer of leaves, and I will just be going over that with my blending brush. I am remembering to go both left to right and right to left so that the ink is applied evenly through the stencil. And I have sprayed the back of these stencils with pixie spray, and they are sticking really well to the paper and the Make Art Station. Now, I did have a little bit of trouble lining up the second stencil, the second leaf stencil. It felt like it was just a little bit off. And that could be because my paper was crooked when I put the first stencil down. I didn't line the paper up straight the first time. But it really isn't that big of a deal because I don't have the stamp set, so you won't really notice that it's off. All of the coloring in this card video is stencil blending or ink blending through stencils. So now I am taking the second color of green, it's a little bit darker green, and using my green blender brush to go over it again. I don't have a brush, for every color. I just have one for, rainbow the family, pink to purples, and then a brown and a gray. That's all you really need, I think. They're easy enough to clean out. I do not use these same brushes for my Distress Oxide inks, though. These are just my dye ink brushes. Now that I have the leaves on, I am going to go ahead with Stencil 3 and start the first layer of the flower. Now, the first layer is going to be your lightest color of ink, and I have chosen a yellow, and I will go ahead and, same thing, blend this on with my stencil or my blending brushes. I am going in both directions, left and right, to make sure that the brushes get right up against the edge of the stencil and don't leave any super obvious white gaps or open spaces. That just kind of helps make sure that the blending is smooth. And now I will go ahead and put on the second flower stencil. So this will be like stencil number 4 at this point, right? Look how fast and easy this is. I'm getting this gorgeous ink blended image super fast. Now I did speed this up. This is not real time. I don't move this fast. But it's only like a 12-minute video from start to finish, and I'm doing this twice. So ink blending with these stencils is a super fast way to get a really gorgeous image to work with on your cards. So now I've just gone ahead and put that darkest yellow, the third yellow color, in behind my stencil, and look how pretty that is. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And when I got done with the yellow, oh, here I am. I'm going back. This is the darkest color. That was the medium color. When I get done with the yellow flowers, I decided I wanted to do one in pink as well. Because it is so fast, why not, right? I think that both cards total just in real life time, I still don't think it was half an hour to do both cards. And that includes the fact that I changed my direction halfway through the card assembly process. So there I have the yellow one, and it is looking absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. And I am going to go ahead and attach this die, or lay this die down onto the stenciled image, and I'm going to tape that down with some painter's tape that I will put on my hand just to make sure that it is not too sticky and will not rip the paper. And I'm going to try really hard to make sure it's lined up really well. The whole set also has a stamp set that you could add to this if you wanted to have that bold outline. And I believe it also has some sentiments on it as well. It was out of stock when I ordered these, so I just went ahead and ordered the stencils and the die cut. I don't very often buy the coordinating dies because I have my brother scan and cut, but this was a really inexpensive die to purchase. So, and it cuts out kind of the middle pieces there where the flowers aren't touching. So then I decided to, heck yeah, let's do this again. And this time I'm starting with the flowers, just because I wanted to see if I could line the leaves up just a little bit better. Yeah, I can't remember if it worked that well or not, if it worked any better or not. It was not so drastically different that I remember. Let's just put it that way. So I have a really light pink here, and I am blending that ink on, going left and right, making sure I get right up against the edge of that stencil. And you can see the edges of the stencil area are a little bit darker, and that's perfect. It adds just a little bit of shadow to the outside edges of those blended flowers. And the lighting in my craft room is kind of wonky. I apologize. We are having a lot of rainy, sunny, cloudy, like days will be sunny, and then we'll have some cloud cover move in. And there is a window right behind my desk. And so even with the blinds closed and the curtains pulled shut, even when the sun goes away, the lighting in my room changes and my lights adjust, and it's just kind of weird. Anyway, so there is layer number 2, and it is just a darker pink. And for the third layer, I decided to pull in a red. It is another Stampin' Up color. I'm going to go with Cherry Cobbler because I don't really know, but that's the name that seems to stick out in my brain is Cherry Cobbler. And it is more of a red than a pink, but it adds just enough of that dark red for the deep shadows. And I really like how it turned out. It's such an easy way to get a really fantastic, what's the word? Focal point. There we go. Focal point for your card. Now, this is where I realized that probably starting with stencil number 1 would have been smarter. It was a little more difficult to line up the first leaf stencil, having already inked the flowers, than it was to line up the flower part when I'd finished the leaves. But like I said, I don't remember it lining up easier between the leaf stencils, the ones I was having issues lining up the first time. There wasn't a significant difference one way or the other with that. Anyways, so back to the stencils. I have used these stencils 3 or 4 times now with one spray of a stencil. And I don't think mine is Pixie brand. I can't remember what brand it is. I purchased it from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's just a repositionable stencil spray. But it has lasted a really long time. The first time I played with these stencils was right after I got them in the mail, so probably 2 months ago before I went on vacation. And there is still a lot of stick in these stencils. It works really, really well. So yeah, if you're going to use stencils, go ahead and get the stencil spray. It really is a lifesaver. You don't have to worry about the stencil shifting and moving. All right, so there we have our second panel, and I will do the same thing. I will go ahead and tape that die down and run it through my die cut machine that is over on my left-hand side. I don't put it on my table anymore because it really rocks the camera. My camera is attached to my desk, and it rocks it. So I'm just going to go ahead and move over to the side and cut that out, and voila! Through the powers of editing, that was the fastest die cutting you've ever seen. Okay, I did use new tape, and it is a little stickier, so I'm being very, very gentle not to just rip the flower apart. So you can see on my desk there, I have a couple pieces of pattern paper that I was going to use, and then I decided it was just too busy. So I pulled out a piece of just white cardstock. I think this is a heavy duty, either Recollections or Stampin' Up, just heavy, like 110-pound cardstock. And I'm going to use these Gonzai, let me think, what are they called? Fine-Tech? No, Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors watercolors. They're 6 different shades of gold watercolor. And they're gorgeous in real life. Oh my goodness, gorgeous in real life. I am going to use That fourth one from the right, it is called, I don't know because it doesn't have labels on it. And I am just going to splat or put some ink splats down with that gold paint or gold watercolor. Okay, so I put down my waffle flower watercolor mat thinking that I wouldn't really get any splatters beyond that mat. And yeah, I was wrong. I should have pulled up a cardboard box or something to put that paper in to splat it, because I did end up with some gold watercolor flecks on my desktop and even on the screen of my cell phone, because it sits off here to my left-hand side. But, oh well, you know, a little bit of gold paint and speckles never hurt anybody, right? And it's a screensaver. It's not a big deal. I have this frame die set that I got as a freebie when I purchased something else a long time ago. Don't even remember what it was. I am going to cut this shape out and of gold, kind of a pearlescent gold cardstock. It's a either Die Cuts with a View or Hobby Lobby's, what is it, Paper Studio brand. And I am just going to adhere that to the back, the white panel that I sprinkled the gold watercolor on. And then I decided that instead of tape runner, I want to use foam tape. Let's pop that up and give it just a little bit of dimension. So I will add a couple pieces of foam tape down the center of this die cut. And then I will adhere it to that white card panel that has the gold watercolor on it. Now that white card panel will be 4 by 5 1/4 inches tall. So it is the front for an A2 card. And I am trying to get this tape backing off. I went and got a manicure, and it's a different kind of manicure. I've never had it before. And while it looks really pretty, I don't know that I love it. My fingernails are really thick and hard to use. It's going to take some getting used to. Anyway, I'm going to pull out my liquid glue and just kind of glue that flower spray down onto the front of that card panel. And I wish that the gold watercolor showed up a little bit better on camera. Because of the sun coming in and out behind the clouds, my lights are kind of blowing everything out. But yeah, so we are in for some crazy weather here where I live this next week. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. There is a hurricane that is coming up the Gulf of New Mexico and Louisiana, and it is a big one. And I am up in Virginia, and we are still projected to get a ton of rain and thunder from the hurricane by the time it gets to us on Wednesday. So, oh, pray for Louisiana, y'all. They cannot handle another major hurricane. That is just insane. This morning when I looked, my daughter and I were talking, it's a Category 5 at 10 o'clock this morning the day I'm recording this voiceover. So there are my card fronts. I am going to go ahead and add them to a card base. And I picked a yellow and a pink card base. These are probably my favorite things, or Stampin' Up cardstocks. I don't really know, but they matched. So whatever. I have cut them to 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So a half of a sheet of paper. It is a top folding portrait card. So the finished card size is 4 1/4 inches across and 5 1/2 inches top to bottom. I have scored them on my scoreboard and used a bone folder to get a nice crisp, clean edge. And that is how the cards look. I'm using this tape runner from Hobby Lobby. I ran out of refills for my ATG gun. Okay, that's a total lie. I just found 2 more in my desk that I could not find. I thought I ran out of refills for my ATG gun, but remembered that I had this box of Hobby Lobby tape runner adhesive with a bunch of refills, and so I'm giving it a try. It's a pretty decent adhesive. It holds really well. It does not give me time to, if I don't get it on straight, I can't pull it up without tearing the card. So that's really good. I do like that my ATG gun, I can reposition a little bit, at least right if I do it right away. I decided to go ahead and add some shimmer to the flowers on these die cuts. And then I remembered halfway through that I am using dye-based ink. So it's kind of blending it a little bit more. I am so used to using this shimmer pen. It's I don't remember what this one's called. Glitter pen. On top of Copics, and they don't move. I totally forgot that my dye ink was going to move. I have pulled out this Tim Holtz, what are they called? small talk strips that I found in one of my drawers that I bought a couple years ago when they were on sale at Michael's or something probably, and totally forgot I had them. Yeah, they were just sitting in my drawer. So I pulled out these small talk quote strips and added them to the front of my card. And these cards can be used for anything, for a hello, for a birthday, for whatever. So here are some close-ups. I really wish that gold watercolor paint showed up better. It's so, so pretty. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. Bye-bye.